Welcome to Hi-Fi and Stage Dives, a SoCan licensed podcast coming to you weekly from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Each week, I talk about a song that's been stuck in your head at one point or another, or stuff you've never heard before. Welcome to this musical journey. Hello again, and welcome back to Hi-Fi and Stage Dives. So, if you're listening to this right now, and you got it the day of release, it's Boxing Day. Hope everybody had an awesome Christmas. Hope all the kiddies got all the toys they wanted. Hope you got all the toys you wanted. Not sure what I'm getting yet, because it's Christmas Eve at this point in time that I'm recording. What we're listening to right now, what's playing in the background, it's a little creepy, little gothic-y, juxtaposed to Christmas, but it is Typo Negative. I will talk about Typo Negative and how I heard them and all that good stuff. I think the reason why I kind of picked it was because it is the total opposite of Christmas, but it is kind of like in that Christmassy weird, like the gloomy parts of it, I guess you could say, the gothic-y parts of it. I love Typo, covered Typo. The song I'm featuring is actually the song that I covered in my old band, Peter Steele, an amazing guy, a monster of man. So let's get into it. They were also known as Repulsion from 89 to 91. They're from Brooklyn, New York, gothic doom metal. They had 7 studio albums, and I believe, if I remember correctly, 4 like best of albums and compilations and stuff like that. They were with Roadrunner and SPV America. Mr. Peter Steele, 6'8". This guy was a monster. He had like a whole like vampire-esque persona thing going on with him. He was a cool dude. Very light-minded. Is that what I'm trying to say? I don't know. He liked to poke fun about stuff. Josh Silver, Kenny Hickey, Sal Ambrosado. I can't believe I got that out without totally butchering it. He was later replaced by John Kelly, and he was actually the drum tech. We see that on occasion where a band will lose a member or a member will leave. Like in this case, he went to go start his own band or whatever it was, and the technicians back then, we had roadies and lots of techs because it's not like it is now today. But they end up sometimes filling and end up actually being part of the band. That's what happened there. Lucky man. So, I'm kind of going backwards on this. I'm going to start at the end. It's kind of messed up, but it's how it goes. So on April 10th, 2010, Peter Steele, singer, frontman, bass player, passed away. He died of heart failure. He had aortic aneurysm. Kenny and John then came out publicly on November 10th and said that Typo was finished. Unfortunate. I don't think they could have carried on without Peter Steele. His voice, if you listen to him, very baritone. He wrote a lot of the music. To replace someone like Peter Steele, impossible. He's just one of those people you just can't replace. I see why they did it. One cool thing about Typo that I really enjoyed is Peter was not afraid to do cover songs. A lot of them actually, live and recorded. This song that's playing right now is actually a Christmas song. I suggest you check it out. I think that if you haven't heard Typo before, go check them out. They're a great band. Not all their songs. You're not going to like all their songs, but out of the 7 albums, the studio albums, there are some really, really amazing songs. I'm a Typo diehard. I like all their music. There isn't very many. I think maybe 2 or 3 songs that I won't intentionally go out and listen to. If they come on, I don't skip them or anything like that, but I would go check them out. Back to the covers that they were not afraid to do. Peter Steele was a huge fan of The Doors, so they covered Light My Fire live. I was going to look into it. I never really did see if it was a studio recording or not, because I know there is a few other the covers that they have done. This song that's playing right now is actually a Christmas song. So Doors, Light My Fire. Peter Steele feels it is the best song ever written, and he has been on record saying that he has butchered it, and he's sorry for butchering it, but he loves the song so much that he had to play it. So I'll name off a few songs that they've covered, a few bands, and there's one on here particularly that I will get into. Seals and Crofts, Summer Breeze. Great fucking song. Cover, amazing. Angry Inch from the Hedwigs and the Angry Inch. It's all about a sex change, and he does it some massive justice. Peter Steele is a very dramatic type person. Great. It's fucking awesome. Go check it out. Don't listen to it around the kids, obviously, but I mean, you could if you feel like it, but they might ask questions. Just saying. Black Sabbath, Paranoid, NIB. They did cuts of it or something. I can't remember exactly. They used like little samples of it. Jimi Hendrix, Hey Joe. That is a weird cover. It's like because he's like slow and it's cool. Back in the USSR by the Beatles. He liked the Beatles also. He was influenced, he said, by the Beatles, Zeppelin, Sabbath, all like your core, obviously, but like certain, you can like by the picks of the songs you can tell like it was certain obviously albums and stuff like that. They've also, I hate this chick, Britney Spears. I think she's dog ugly, but they covered Baby Hit Me One More Time, I think it's called. Anyways, I think it sounds better than the original, so take that, Britney. Hope you retire soon. So yes, the last one I want to talk about, Mr. Neil Young's Cinnamon Girl. They covered the song amazingly. I love it. I love the song that they cover as the cover. Neil Young, I hate Neil Young. He can go shove it because the guy, his voice sucks and he's a pretentious dick and he's a liar. So I'm not going to get into him. I just don't like him. He's not for me. He never will be for me. If I ever met him, who knows? I'd meet him, talk to him, see what he says, but I don't know. His musically and what he does publicly, like on media, social media, mainstream media, whatever it is, I'm not a fan of this guy. He's kind of a slice of shit. Not even a full piece of shit, just a slice of shit. That's how I feel about Neil Young. Okay, back to the topic, which is Typo Negative. Their songs, very long. Some of them I found drawn out, but Peter Steele was like I said, a very theatrical person, and that's what he was into. And a lot of the songs, like if you listen to the first couple albums, when the song ends, there's no like, you know how a song like will fade out really nice. It's like it just chops off. I thought it was funny, and then some of them like will when they introduce an album, it'll be a joke. Like one of them's called Bad Ground, and all it is it's literally a background just humming. It's great. But that's how Peter Steele was. What I'm gonna do now is play the feature song, which I covered. Like I said, I covered in my previous band, and it is called Black Number One. It's a longer song. It's a different song. I love it. It's one of the very first songs that I ever heard from them, and it made me fall in love with Typo. Great song. So I'll play it now, and then I'll chat some more after about it. Enjoy.
She's in love with herself. She likes the dark. And on her milk white neck, the devil's mark. Now it's All Hallows Eve. The moon is full. Or will she trick or treat? I bet she will. She's got a date at midnight with no spot Loving you, loving you was like loving the dead. Loving you, loving you, loving you was like
So, that was a 10-minute long song. Yeah. So if you made it through that, I am fucking beyond impressed with you right now. Although it is a great song and like it carries itself very well because of the way it's composed and the way it's made and everything, right? So I hope you enjoyed it. This song was actually featured on Grand Theft Auto. So that brings me to typo being unused on movie soundtracks and video games and such. So they were on Mortal Kombat, Bride of Chucky, Freddy vs. Jason. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I believe it was Summer Breeze that they covered on that. It was pretty cool. And the Blair Witch Project soundtrack. We all know the Blair Witch, what the snotty nose and all that good stuff. But yeah, it was on their soundtrack. So video games pretty cool. Descent 2, I don't know what that is. It's a PC game, I believe. Doom, Blood, another PC game. Like I said, Grand Theft Auto, Life is Killing Me. This song in this album was actually supposed to be like featured with Kane, the wrestler, and he just never used it. But this song was actually supposed to be, I think, his new walk-in song, or the Kane theme song, I suppose you could call it. Never happened. I guess Kane changed his mind because steroids would make you angry like that, I guess. So this is really cool. In 1998, a video company made a version of the 1922 classic film Nosferatu. For you those who don't know who Nosferatu is, it's basically Dracula vampire stuff, right? The original vampire, I believe. I didn't get into that part very much. I just know the movie. It was a silent film, so I think they had music, or was this an orchestra would play or something? I can't remember. I should have looked into that, but yeah. They would say their lines, there'd be no noise, like basically a subtitle, but a screenshot of what they were saying would come up, so they would talk, and then you'd read. They talk, and they'd read. So what they did is this company, Arrow Video, took their very first album and just dubbed the whole album over the silent video. Now, I've seen parts of it, and I've seen, I watched a bit of it. It is fucking amazing, because they picked, obviously they produced it, and they picked and choose which songs to put where and stuff, and it is awesome. I think it suits it very well. I mean, listen to this guy's voice and the music, right? It's suiting. So Peter Steele died at 48 years old, and he was sober when he died. He was finally getting sober, and I remember I read a thing about it, and doing really well for himself. And he had like a vampire thing I mentioned earlier. That was his thing. He was a vampire, and people loved it. He was in Playgirl. He didn't know. He didn't know what Playgirl was. So he thought it was all women buying all these magazines. So here's 6'8" Peter Steele, and at that time, like, the vampire thing was huge, I guess. I don't know. And he's buck-ass naked in Playgirl, and there's a bunch of dudes looking at him. Mostly dudes. So, I mean, go figure. Dudes. We're dudes, hey? Looking at Playgirls, looking at Playboys. Thanks, guys. We're messy, dirty guys. But yeah, so he found that out, and he was blown away. He wasn't mad or anything. He was just more disappointed. He figured that it would be more women looking at him, because that's the kind of guy he was. He was satirical. That's the word I was looking for. He liked joking around and stuff like that. So he figured, a whole bunch of ladies would be looking at him. But no, it was mostly dudes. Whatever. So most of his music was written, obviously, from the soul, as you like to call it, as people like to call it, where it comes from. He battled depression, alcohol, and drug abuse, obviously, and his relationships. And you can hear it, like, in the production of the music, the way the keyboards are put in, the way the drums are played, the way the guitars are played, the way he sings it with his really deep baritone voice. This music and the ambience of the music hooked me right away. When I first heard Black No. 1, I was instantly hooked. There was no turning back. If I never heard that song in my life, I don't know. I really don't know, because his music is a whole nother planet. It gives me the feeling of sadness and happiness and repressed and release at the exact same time. It makes me feel uncomfortably comfortable. I don't want it to end, but I want it to end. Like, it's a weird way. I don't know how to explain the feeling. But it brings a very nice, calm, mellow, it's balance. It brings me balance. And it's just something I'm glad that I got to hear. I got to thank, actually, my homie Ben, guy I grew up with. The first time I ever got grounded was because I was hanging out with him, and I went missing. But I wasn't missing. I was with him at his place. His older sister, Rebecca. I love Ben's family to pieces. They were my other family when I was growing up. It was great. But because of her typo negative, and I attribute my typo negative to Rebecca. And it's kind of suiting, because she's a very, very kind person and a very warm, caring person. So the music kind of fits with, like, who she is, I guess. It's too bad Peter Steele died when he did. He left behind a fucking amazing legacy, and it was great. He had other bands, Carnivore, and I can't remember the other one because I didn't write it down. But if you Google Peter Steele, his other bands come up. Carnivore, if I remember correctly, I listened to some of it. It's very like thrash punk-ish, I guess. But you can hear sometimes when he's singing stuff. It's crazy. So like this song we're listening to right now is like I don't know. It's just simple, nothing too crazy about it, and you just singing, and it's great. I love it. So yeah, that was Typo Negative. I never got a chance to see them, unfortunately, but I've watched a shit ton of videos on YouTube and interviews, and Peter Steele was a fucking hilarious dude. He just was very satirical about stuff too. He knew when to joke around and when not to joke around. Stage presence was nuts. I mean, the dude was 6'8", right, and just a big man with long dark hair. Like he was a fucking vampire. If he wasn't a vampire, he was, I don't know, he sure the hell looked like one. Even I believe he had his teeth shaved to be pointed, unless they were real vampire fights. I don't know, maybe he's not even dead. But check out Typo Negative's YouTube stuff. Even his stuff, like his interviews, are crazy. They're fun to watch. He's very he's an awesome dude. You could tell he'd be a rad dude to hang out with and party with and stuff like that, because just how they are. So yeah, Brooklyn, New York. He's a vampire. I'm telling you, he's a vampire. He was awesome. Go check him out. That being said, thank you for listening. Merry Christmas. Happy Boxing Day, or whatever you want to call it. Hope you guys enjoy the spirits, drinks, get lifted, the blunts, whatever you guys are into. Whatever you do, keep it safe. And if you feel like it's coming too much, say something. Go talk to somebody. Let's have an awesome Christmas together, people. I know Christmas is a tough time for me sometimes. I'm not a huge fan of Christmas. It ends up being okay in the end. Sometimes you just got to talk to people, or you just got to look at it a different way. So thank you again for listening to Hi-Fi and Stage Guys. Merry fucking Christmas, guys. Happy Chrismukkah. Happy Hanukkah. Kwanzaa, I believe, passed already. I'm not sure. And happy whatever it is you celebrate. Yeah. Stay lightheaded. Take it in stride. You guys got this. Much love. Thank you for listening. Oh, and have an awesome New Year's, because I think the next time it'll be New Year's. Next time it'll be past New Year's. It will be past New Year's next time you guys hear me. So happy New Year's also. Enjoy. Much love from my family to yours. Thank you again for listening to Hi-Fi and Stage Dives. It means the world to me. I'm glad you could come on this journey with me, and we'll keep doing it every week. Subscribe, rate and review, all that good stuff, and keep listening to music, because it only makes life better. And we'll see you on the flip side. Stay rad.